visual.
Got both feelings, the east side. Everything. I started to trunk my car just like E42 Shaw. I grew up in a competition they grew up in. But what made me different, I started a retail store. And by me having a retail store, I was able to study the product.
Man, we in New Orleans. We on the bus with my man, Master P. What's up? How you feeling?
I'm feeling
What's
good.
up with you?
Ride it. Down here in the swamp.
Now, where Bout It come from, man?
Well, Bout It come from trying to have something, you know what I'm saying? Me growing up in the ghetto, I'm like a victim of my community, my environment. And when somebody sees somebody in the ghetto, they think negative of everybody they see. And I figure it ain't no limit to what I do, and being Bout It mean I'm down to do whatever.
So you just Bout It. I wanted to, off the top, let's go back to the beginning of where you decided, I'm gonna start putting this thing together. Now, you from New Orleans, originally, but you started in Richmond, California.
Yeah, what happened was...
Explain how you got from New Orleans to Richmond, first and foremost.
Well, basically what happened is, you know, I've been living in New Orleans all my life, born and raised, but my mother was living in Richmond, California, so every now and then as I was young, I'd go backwards and forwards, see my mom, my dad living in New Orleans, and going back and forth, you know, growing up, I learned to get the habitat of being West Coast, down south, and I think that's where my flavor of my music come from, which I call it gumbo because it's spicy, you know. Right. I got both feelings, the east side, everything. I started to trunk my car just like E42 Shaw. I grew up in a competition they grew up in, but what made me different, I started a retail store. And by me having a retail store, I was able to study the product and study as a business person as far as retailing a product to a consumer. And I think that's what No Limit is all about. We're about making sure the consumer is happy, you know, and I think that's what's different about No Limit. I think in order to be successful, you gotta be unique and you gotta know what you want to do. You know what I'm saying? I can't do what E42 Short or 2-5 or whatever. Right. I gotta make and grow my own audience, which I done did. Ice Cream Man album already gold and on his way to platinum, and the TRU new record about to come out. Right. Got Mia X about to come out with a new album later, like Mr. Servon, Cain and Abel. Oh man.
I want to talk to you about how you started building an empire of performance when we come back. Hey, it's the Rap City thing in New Orleans. Don't y'all go nowhere. We'll be back in a minute, alright? Alright. How many people y'all know got their own bus, man? We on the Master P bus, the No Limit Records bus, you know what I'm saying? We just in New Orleans. Now, how did you know how you get there. You know how the product goes and everything. What was the formula you said you needed your acts to have so you could start building your empire?
Well, basically what we do that nobody else gonna do is we make sure whatever act we have hit, they gonna participate in every other group project that we put out. You know what I'm saying? You see some companies where if one guy sell 1 million records, then they have somebody new on the label, they never rap on their tape, you know, I mean, that's bad business right there. If I get one act to sell 1 million records and I get that act to rap on a group that never came out, eventually that group gonna get looked at just on GP. And I think that's what good business is all about.
So you just everybody got to click. Has to click. Everyone has to click.
We all one big family. We all one big fan. That's what TRU is all about. It's about being true to the game. And I think that's what this music industry is all about. It's about being true to the game. You got to be true to yourself or you can be true to somebody else.
Okay, now you said you did you owned the store, and which means you knew how the product was going to move, what was going to happen, well, basically the backside of everything.
Basically what I did was first, I studied what people want to buy. And in order to study what people want to buy, you got to listen to what's selling. And I think that's the first ingredient, you know. Before you could cook anything, you got to have ingredients. You got to make a recipe. And I think that's what life is all about. Some people just jump into the game and they want to sell 1 million records. First, you got to sell 5 or 10 records before you can sell 1 million. I think that's what No Limit is all about. I started with my first album, The Ghetto's Trying to Kill Me, which we sold a few records. Then the next album, we put another album out. We sold a few more records. Right. Then we come with a group thing, we sold some more records. Then while we was on the West Coast, we put out a West Coast Bad Boys where we got that side cover. Then we come back home, put a Down South Hustlers out. Now we got the South and the West Coast covered, you know what I'm saying? Then we build up and we try to make radio songs, so now we can get a little airplay, you know, and then we try to make videos to get a little video play with You know, now they starting to know about us, like BT, all the rest of the channels. You know, that's what I'm talking about. We body, and ride, and all.
You know,
we gonna make something happen.
I'm about, hey, check it. When we come back, man, we just gonna, I'm gonna kick it with you about your empire now. I want to meet some of the acts and let the people know, who to be checking for and what's happening. Sure. All right? Hey, Rap City thing, don't go nowhere. We'll be back in a minute, man. We back here on the No Limit bus, making up. We making records now. Man. We making records now. Y'all don't even know. We sitting here making up little plans, put records together. But
black folks coming together, making things happen.
But before we even go to that, I want to talk about this man. This man has produced, financed, directed, and is starring in his own movie. That alone in itself is enough. He's also the CEO of the record label. He's rapping and everything. The movie. I want to talk about this movie. Now the name of the movie is
I'm About It.
I'm About It.
I'm About It. You know, basically the movie deals with my life growing up in a drug-infested environment, a ghetto, a minority place where you ain't supposed to make it out. You know, and I got Helen Martin, Mac 10, Mia X, Mr. Servon, Silk, C. Murder, Cain and Abel, Skull Douglas, Andy Boswell, Moon Jones, this one big old No Limit family. Right. And it's starting like, I mean, this reality. People got to be able to see this and see, man, this really what's going on, and how could we change this here? You can't get scared of the negativity and turn your head. It's like death, you know. People fear death. You know, it's stuff you don't want to look at. And that's the stuff that we write about and we make, and that's what we making movies about.
You gotta have a dope soundtrack. Now, I want you to give us the soundtrack roster.
A little something for sure. You know, you got me, the ice cream man, putting it all. We got Moby Dick. You know, that's he sang, produced with my other producers, KLC and Craig Beat, which make up Beats by the Pound. Then we got Mia X laying it down on, you know, coming back. Mr. Servon with the life insurance policy. Y'all better go out there and get y'all policy because it's coming soon. You know what I'm saying? Then we got the twin Cain and Abel, and you know, they straight up gangstified. So this is gonna be the type of soundtrack. Then I got my brothers, C. Murder and Silk, coming together as Truth.
Right.
Man, we got Mystical. We got Luke. You know, I mean,
Uncle Luke.
Yeah, Uncle Luke, 8 Ball and MJG.
Oh, not my people.
Man, for sure.
Not my people.
Oh yeah.
Like that?
Man.
What's up with Mac 10?
Oh, Mac 10, Ice Cube.
Like that?
WC coming together with the
West Side Connection came and put something on it?
Oh, for sure, laying it down south, because we hustling down there and we bought it. We showing the world how to put this thing together, you know. We got Eli Tate, another local group out here that's tight. Who else we got, y'all? Goody Mob.
Not the Goody Mob.
Oh, for sure. We gonna make
y'all know how I feel about the Goody Mob. Y'all got the Goody Mob?
Oh, for sure.
T-Mo Goody and C-Lo Goody?
Yeah. Working out something right now with Total. You know, it's just gonna be, man, you just never know. By the time this come out March, man, we might just spice it all up. The east, south, west all come together, be body, and ride, and watch y'all, because we gonna knock y'all out on the big screen.